In a lot of stories, the first few paragraphs set up all the important parts. The author names all the characters, we find out the problem or main thing the story is about, and we're given the setting, or where and when events happen. But when that's not the case, meaning the setting is not given or stated in the text, we can piece it together by looking at details that let us use what we already know about time and place to understand it. To find the details that help to recognize or understand the setting, we can ask questions like these. When do the events happen? Where do the events happen? How does the text show time and place? Pause the video and read BB's soundtrack. Let's think about time as it's shown in the story. Remember, we can ask questions like, when do the events happen? Or, do they happen in a single instance of time, like a day or a night? Do they happen over a long period of time? Then we have to think about which story details tell us about or help us understand time. In BB's soundtrack, things are described as happening over a period of time, or beyond a single day, night, or even a week. Here's how we can tell. The story is about how BB hears the sounds around her, and the author describes time with phrases like in the morning, throughout the day, and at night. These phrases give us the sense that things happen again and again or over a long period of time. Another question to ask is, where do the events happen? Or, is there more than one place described or mentioned? Which story details tell us about or help us understand place? In this case, where does BB hear the sounds? Think about where we are most likely to constantly hear the noise of cars, buses, and truck engines and horns. We know from first-hand experience or things we've read or heard that BB hears those sounds in the city. So one part of the setting is the city. That's where BB is. At this point, we know two things about the setting. BB is experiencing the sounds of the city, and it's happening over time. But there's more to understand about the setting, and we can get to it by asking other questions about when and where BB does things or experiences things. Questions like, how are the points in time related? Or how are places in the story related? For example, in this story, the phrase, moved in with her aunt, tells us that BB had been somewhere else at one point. We know that the place she has been was called Overton. There's another word that helps us understand a change in both time and place. The word new is used to describe BB's school. So you see, understanding the setting of a story is about more than just identifying time and place. To really get it, we can look in the text for details that help us to understand how time and place are put together, and how they are related in order to let us see what happens in the story.